to Check It Out, Comrade, an indie game podcast where every 2 weeks we bring you 2 indie games and tell you what we like about them. I'm Nick Lauber.
I'm Gary Butterfield.
And with us is Brayton Will.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Hey. You're welcome to put in any input if you're interested.
You just shut us down.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And this week we're doing Gang Beasts and Journey.
Yep, and this is live. We're doing this during the Duckstream 2016, so the RGB may be a little bit different. You may be hearing this on the actual feed, though, because we're putting it out there as well.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about Gang Beasts. It's safe to say there aren't any spoilers for it.
Yeah.
This is a local multiplayer beat-em-up party game developed by Bone Loaf.
That's something that you like. That's a thing that you crafted.
It's Meatloaf's lich form.
He would do anything.
He would do anything for love, including finding the 5 phylacteries and hiding them at the 6 concordant points. And published by Double Fine Presents. And this is came out for Steam, Windows, OS X, and Linux on the 29th of August, 2014.
Yeah, and it's still in early access.
Yes.
It still has that banner.
Expected to come to PS4 and PSVR. Interesting. 2016. Nick, what is cool about Gang Beasts?
Well, Gang Beasts is it's an incredibly fun goof around multiplayer game. A lot like actually the duck game that we did previously with Brayton.
Hi.
Our other episode that had video feed with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's really fun. It's really goofy.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I think that with the 3 of us and 4 with Steve when he was hanging out with us, like we were having a real good time throwing each other across walls and stuff. It
is a good example, I think. I've said this before, but like, I don't want a fighting game to be technical.
Yeah.
Like, I want a fighting game to be hilarious and stupid. And the higher skill ceiling for a fighting game, the less interested I am in it. Where you can start doing like frame jabs and reverse combos and stuff, and I'm just not like, that loses me pretty quick.
Right.
Like, I'm all item smash, not no item smash.
Totally.
So, it's a great example of that, I think.
I think it's clear that there's like enough mechanics there to develop some skill around it, but the fact that the physics engine is they left it purposely goofy. We had bugs almost every match that played into how the game was played.
But it's not Goat Simulator. Like, it's not like made for YouTube streamers. Like, it doesn't have that kind of like, because it's multiplayer, so it doesn't have that feeling of being made just to be like bad on purpose.
Right.
For people to watch PvP play. It doesn't have that feeling to it. It's like it's not for audiences, even though I think it works that way. It's for like people who are playing it.
Yeah.
That's where the comedy develops in it.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like it's real hard to talk too much about it because it's very simple mechanics. You can punch and grab each other and jump and lift. And you only have, 6 controls besides your movement?
Yeah. There's a duck, which I don't think anybody used other than for...
No, that's how you lean down.
Yeah, it's like for goofs,
Yeah.
You
can use
this a surprisingly good tactic to just lay on the ground and hold on to it as long as possible.
Yeah.
And you can't use the duck to like head bash.
Well, there's a headbutt as well. There's a headbutt.
Was that a separate button?
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't...
Duck might have been the backwards one then.
It's very difficult to figure out, like, what to do in the game. Like, eventually I figured out, like, just, lifting people up, dangling them over the edge of things, and dropping them and hoping they weren't grabbing me.
Right.
Was kind of the strategy. Like, I feel like there probably is depth there. I would like to watch high-level play, even though that's not the point of the game.
Right.
Yeah.
That was my strategy, too, beyond also punching and headbutting while I'm, like, holding on to the... Because I think if you do enough, if you do enough, you can stun them and get them to not be able to hang on to anything.
Yeah.
So if you're dangling over the edge and punching and headbutting, eventually they'll let off and...
It kind of reminded me a bit of that like super secret game inside of what is it? Sports with Friends.
Sports Friends.
Friends. Yeah. Do you know what the game is called?
It's
the 2 dudes squatting and touching each other.
It's like
that's not a game.
Well,
there's no game to that.
That's a game.
I mean, that's your guys' typical.
Yeah, and then it's like it was like a tug of war to get the first person's like head to hit the ground. Yeah. It was it was like the first Duck stream. I think Cole was playing it with Dennis. Right?
It is really like that game's really fun too.
Yeah.
It's a weird like subgenre where it's not. There's a distinction between that and like a Goat Simulator thing where it's like the silly multiplayer game. It's kind of like what's that competitive co-op kind of game where you're like climbing a mountain.
Oh, is that Mount Your Friends?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like finding people and stuff, where it's like that kind of like the bad control genre, which is like really interesting as a thing.
Yeah,
like I think it's great that people have found fun in like the full spectrum of like quality of responsiveness and precision.
Yeah, I forget the name of it, but there's a real, like, it's famous for how tiny of a file size it is, wrestling game, like sumo wrestling game, where you're just like these blocky guys bumping into each other, and it controls terribly, but you're just like trying to push the other guy out by like stumbling and falling in.
Right.
And it has like procedural attempts to keep their own balance, so it's really funny animated.
Do you do those hand things when we're not like all the time?
Probably, yeah. I'm sure I do, yeah. Just in front of the mic on my own. I gesture a lot when I'm on the mic for some reason.
What's I said that like I actually like thought it was bad or something.
No.
It's good. It's also the thing with Gang Beast, and as much as like discussing how something is funny is the worst way to
ruin it.
Ruin it or talk about things that are funny, but like it's very funny. Why is this game funny? What's funny about it?
Well, you already have like just the character proportions are goofy. They waddle around.
Right.
They're they kind of have that like Octodad physics movement thing, which is just kind of inherently alien and maybe a little bit funny. You get cute and fun costumes.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the main source of comedy is the mistakes you do while trying to do anything.
Yeah.
So you and anybody else playing, you know what you're trying to do, but the humor comes in what comes out of that attempt.
Yeah.
It'll never be what you expected.
Yeah, the gulf between what you're trying to do and what you actually do.
And there's also just moments of like pure surprise. Like it's like, oh shit! Like I got. Well, I mean, a good example is the highway, the signs. Like you don't you have to be on that map for a minute, 2 minutes before any signs come through.
Yeah.
Or stuff like the whatever it is, like the window washer.
Yeah.
That you can break the ropes on that.
Yeah.
There's so many things in there. It's like pull that laugh out of you. Ha!
Yeah. Well, there's an element of like so the surprise thing, and then there's like it's real simple, but it's like super slapsticky.
Yeah.
Like it is, you're just watching, and they're anthropomorphic or non-anthropomorphic enough to where like it's fun to watch violence happen to them. It's really dark. Like they're getting ground up into a grinder, and like that's like picking somebody up and putting them into a grinder, and then like walking away with your arms up is like the darkest thing.
Slowly doing it, and then just standing there like punching them whenever they try to climb out.
You don't get out. No, that's like the darkest thing. But there's just an element of like Looney Tunes, kind of slapstick to it that works really well, I think.
Yeah.
It's real simple, but the sound effects are also so good. Like when you actually like thwack into somebody, or when you knock them out, especially. It's that big meaty sound. It's
which
like
you need because you can't see everything. It's like really chaotic.
And it plays into how soft they look too. Like anything that happens to them is all with these wet, soft sounds. It works.
They're like inside out Stretch Armstrongs. Yeah. I think some of the bad. I have the one called Gary. That place where it's like it's not super precise or considered in its control wise. That works more for control than it does for some of the other things. Like I didn't like in the one level with the incinerator, how hard it was to see everything. Like there was like some things in the foreground. They started like one player all the way to the other side for no real reason.
Yeah, there was a staircase in the background. If someone went up there, you just couldn't see.
You just couldn't see them. Like some of those elements that are sloppy are not sloppy in favor of comedy. Like they're just sloppy, and it just feels kind of sloppy.
Yeah.
The camera is genuinely bad.
Yeah, the camera is really bad. It makes me feel. I wonder if like. I never want to ascribe like purposeful like laziness to something like that, but I wonder if they were like part of this. The reason that it's fun is that it's so chaotic. We don't have to pay any attention to that stuff.
Right.
But I'd love if they actually finished it for it to like. I want to see everything that's happening because the comedy is all in the movement and like the way the characters interact. I think that would be the best one. Best way to do that. Any final thoughts on Gang Beast? Anybody?
Would play again.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Plus.
Yeah, it's super, super fun.
Yeah.
Man, if Cole doesn't get to be Tuxedo Mask, sorry to read chat in the middle of our episode or live episode, but well, because I like Tuxedo Mask. I guess if I get to be Sailor Moon, I guess that's fine. No, I mean Cole's great. That wasn't me slamming Cole. I just figured he would be like Sailor Mercury or something. Or like whatever the red.
I always forget which ones are cousins.
Yeah. Which ones like actually scissor like mad, like Sailor Scissors. Like in the Japanese version, they're like lovers.
I know, but
what? Like
I wasn't laughing at the idea of them being lovers. I was laughing at scissors like mad as a description for sapphic lovemaking.
Journey
Journey
is
2012.
developed by that game.
This is a weird tone that Comrade doesn't usually take.
No, live episodes are always that is always a live episode thing. Yeah, I love it. That game company, published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation 3, released March 2012. Originally only for the PlayStation Network, downloadable. Recently came to PS4, so that is how I got a chance to play it.
Yeah.
And people who listen to the show or know that we recently did Abzu, which is the same art director. I thought it was the same people, but not quite.
Yeah.
But a lot of the same kind of design philosophy. So you can, now that Nick has played it, you can kind of see why I got that idea.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So this is Nick's first time playing it. What's cool about Journey, Nick?
It's really good. It's incredibly pretty atmospheric game that doesn't ever take away anything. It doesn't give you any negative experience the whole time. Like it's all meant to just be positive and going forward, and anything that is a setback is like a 2-second setback. It's just you get knocked aside, and so it's just seeing a lot of pretty environments, interacting, and there's no dialogue, there's no written language. It's all just visual storytelling, and it's done really well. And then there's this whole extra multiplayer element that is we'll talk about a little bit later, because that's kind of the spoiler.
Yeah, the spoiler, the point. Like, it is very, like, forgiving. Like, you can't lose it. You're not meant to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like, in the walking simulator genre of, like, thing where you can't.
But it feels more arcadey than most do.
Yeah.
It feels more gamey than most walking simulators.
Like, there are mechanics, but there aren't. And, like, I guess if you wanted to really stretch the definition, you could say there are puzzles. But they're pretty simple.
Yeah.
Like, the puzzle part of it is just kind of figuring out. It's like navigation.
Right.
You know. Figuring out how to move forward.
Navigation is pretty much the only puzzle there is, and that's where a lot of the multiplayer comes in as well. Is that they're there to help you, guide you around and what's going on in the game. Because you have a general goal the whole time. There's a big mountain in the background. You know you're going that way, but there's kind of minor offshoots in between that you can use a little guiding. And
that's the big kind of twist of this. So the gimmick. A lot of people played this initially before they knew. Did not know that people who you were running into were actual real people. Mm-hmm. They thought they were NPCs.
Right.
So that is the kind of twist to Journey. And I think that what it does, that's like the reason why it is a super beautiful, like wonderful game, is that it makes you feel the actual joy you would find from running into somebody like in this lonely place. Like, and you like I watched you do it. Like when I played, I was surprised to find myself like even knowing the twist going into it, that like I didn't want to be away from this person. Like, this person's doing the same thing. Like, I want to hang out. Like, where's my buddy? Like, I need to go do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be next to this person. And when bad things happen to your buddy, like, it sucks. You know, and, like, you feel it.
Right.
You know, in a weird kind of that togetherness, you know, way that is truthful in real life.
Yeah, when you abandon your friend in a snowstorm.
Yeah. Which, you know, the video will be up of Nick playing it and just monster out.
Yeah, go watch the Twitch replay. Yeah. Where I let my buddy take the hit of a beat.
To be fair, you were not playing an ideal. Like, we were all just like dicking around and doing like really loud Big Bopper jokes and stuff around.
It was Big Bopper Fest 2016.
Where it's like I came home and played it like after like a pretty frustrating like semi-romantic experience thing. Like went on like a really bad date and then came home and like played it. Mm-hmm. And like it was for me, it was just like you know,
right.
like you know, it's very much about the environment. Like this is not the in retrospect. Putting these two games together and then just to do that tonal shift is possibly not.
Probably not the best situation for me. But I mean, I still got what it was going at. You know, I enjoyed finding people around and having them with me as we like. I could have just ditched them and done all this other stuff, but I had that attachment to this person's making the same effort I am, and they might even help me out along the way, like. Point me in a better direction. I can help follow them around, and they can follow me around. It was a really enjoyable experience to run into other little guys in this otherwise world empty of clearly living things, right? There's these animate objects that are around that you help to animate, but outside of that, it's a desolate world. And so running into other people just like yourself is real heartwarming.
And we made a lot of jokes about like finding the lore and the story and stuff, but I think that what it does is it plays with that idea of Dark Souls like coming across a lost civilization, but that doesn't actually fill in any gaps.
Yeah.
Like I've never read anything online that is like a cogent explanation as to what happened, and that's something where Abzu fell down, where like there definitely is a thing that happened in Abzu.
Right.
This, it's like it doesn't. It's the journey.
It
doesn't actually matter where you're
right.
going. Like it doesn't matter what this lost civilization actually was. You know, it's evoking a mood more than anything.
It doesn't seem like it's trying to point you towards figuring anything out. It just wants you to experience it, just to be in it.
The point is the comfort you find in the people that you go along the way, which is like a really like tender-hearted.
The point is the journey?
The point is the destination.
Oh.
Because the journey to, destination.
The final destination.
Journey 3, final destination.
The revengeing.
Yeah. With versus mode when you unlock that.
Yeah. So when people were first playing it, and none of the spoilers about it being clearly multiplayer come out, is just the names of the people you run into at the very end after the credits supposed to be your spoiler?
Yeah.
I think that's super sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these are the people who helped you. And like it's not it's got a little bit of that Dark Souls-ness, but you can't hurt anybody. You know, it's also similar to because we're gonna do Oxenfree, and that has I already started saying it, so it's pretty spoilery. Yeah. There's an element that's similar without saying what it actually is, but it's meaningless because you don't know whether a person's hurting you or helping you. It's kind of neat, but it doesn't actually like contribute to the theme, I don't think.
Yeah, I reviewed Oxenfree for the site, and it took me forever to understand what was going on with that.
It does. It sucks. Like I mean, I didn't like that game very much, but like the way that it incorporates the thing is really like it's a parlor trick. Like, and in Journey, it's the point. Like in my mind, it is the way to take a mechanic and like make it underline your theme and tie it in like as elegantly as I've seen. You know.
Yeah. But hear more about Oxenfree in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. Yeah, we're originally gonna do that one next, and then need some extra time because it's it feels like a long game.
I know it's only a few hours.
Yeah. No, I was just getting in a dig because I'm sleepy and getting petty. That's the deal. But it is. I really really like that message, and it's super simple, but it's 2 hours. Like that's the amount of time Journey should last.
Yeah, that is a incredibly clean experience. Sit down one playthrough experience that I think Abzu was attempting to do and didn't manage to succeed in the same way. I wanted to stop in the middle.
They both have really strong atmosphere, right? So and they're both very beautiful and have really great music. One of them has a very very beautiful like meaningful message. The other one is just pretty and atmospheric. Yeah. And if you can actually get across your message through play, that's always going to be stronger than just being pretty, just having atmosphere, just having nice music. Like one of those is a great game, one of them is like a nice movie. Right. You know. So
I wasn't here when you guys played it, but from what I understand, do you guys say that it's ultimately about faith? Because I've heard that the whole point of Journey is that you don't stop believing.
No. The whole point of Journey is when the night goes down in the city. Here we stand.
That actually played really well. I enjoyed that a lot. The way it was delivered was very good.
Yeah. So do we have any other Journey thoughts? It's a short episode of Check Out Comrade, but it's also live.
It's also you can watch us play the whole thing and see what we're saying while we're doing it. So
it's almost too bad that we can't play the Journey arcade game.
Oh shit!
The Atari game right now.
Man, that's doable. But it's
we can maybe do that later.
Yeah, the Atari, you can play every Atari game I think just online. Yeah. Will is the person who is far on the right, playing his Pokemon.
There's Will.
Yeah, so if you check it out, Comrade. We're gonna say this part for the admin for the actual the actual episode. If you check it out, Comrade, you can rate and review it on iTunes. You can also reach out to us on Twitter at Comrade Podcast and on Facebook at facebook.com/check it out Comrade. Correct. And if you want to support the show, you can go to Duckfeed.tv or patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. Sorry to throw that in the middle of this thing. But
we're gonna cut this up and throw it on.
It's gonna go upstairs. I have played Dysphoria and it's very good. So I think that's probably about it.
That's probably about it.
Yeah, thanks, and we will see you in about 2 weeks. Yep. Live. Check it out, Comrade.